Well, underwater, and even with all of this government help, still swamped. Struggling homeowners who got help from TARP still trapped. A special report from the Special Inspector General for the Troubled Asset Relief Program said an effort to modify and sharply reduce mortgages for more than 312,000 homeowners apparently did not help much. Those loans modified in late 2009 are now defaulting at a rate of up to 46%. That is close to half of all mortgages reworked, still back to default or near default. And the cost of this fix? Try $75 billion. Scottie Hughes, Dee Banky, and Rick Unger with me right now. Dee, this looks like a $1 billion boo-boo.
Yeah, absolutely, a disaster. I mean, why is the government in the real estate business? Why are they even doing this? I don't think the government should have anything to do with it, and certainly not $75 billion. And where is that money? Are they holding on to it? Are they spending on other things? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're talking about, what, a few 100,000 folks have been helped, and it was supposed to be millions, so it's not working.
Well, the argument for it, and I try to give the benefit of the doubt here, knowing you would be here and then be looking for fair and balance and all this stuff. And I thought, Rick, well, if it avoided those homes quickly coming on the market and crowding the market with still more supply and pushing this into further devaluation, it might have had merit. But in the end, that's what we could be looking at regardless.
It's the weirdest thing. The arguments for it at its inception, there are many. The problem here is the execution seems to have gone seriously wrong. Depending who you ask. If you ask the mortgage folks, it's all the government's fault.
Right.
If you ask the Treasury people, it's those terrible mortgage servicers out there who didn't hire enough people to push it through. Dee's right. You ended up with only a couple 100,000 people getting it.
Whoa.
I know. It's
you
true.
Just said Dee's right?
She got
Thank
the
you,
facts
Rick.
right. When did we
That's
get to
so
Scottie?
cool.
I already heard like a Fox Business alert on there.
But it was supposed to be 4 million people, and it's
Right.
not getting there. So we have
It's
to wait.
just Unger, Banky, together on this issue. Scottie,
Yeah, it sucks.
There you go, game over. Yeah, exactly. Scottie, the argument for doing this is always a good one. I know people want to help people, and that is the very nature of where we were in the middle of the housing meltdown. We didn't want to see millions of American homeowners out on the streets. But we just sort of staved off the inevitable in the end, didn't we?
That's exactly right. And the truth of the situation is, these people, even if you took their interest rate from 5% down to 0%, still will not be able to pay. And all that Obama did the first time...
I don't know if you brought it into
if
zero.
that's true.
Well,
Zero
but
you
no,
might
here's
do
the
it.
thing.
She's right. You don't have jobs. You can't pay anything.
That's the thing. These were either, some people say the carpetbaggers of the bankers were the ones that took advantage of the situation. I seem to think it's the administration that sat there and put the pressure on the banks to do these high-risk loans that they knew were going to be defaulted on in the first place.
Well,
but the government
I think you
has
touched on the beginning. If you don't have a job, you can't pay your mortgage, even if it is 0%. But Dee, the bottom line is, in the end, the focus was sort of ass backwards. This is no offense to the administration.
What'd you say? Did you say that word?
Ass backwards, right?
Can we
But
say
I
that on
thought
cable
That's
television?
lightweight for Cavuto.
I thought that if you provided jobs, you wouldn't have had to create this healthcare monster that you did, because then presumably more people. Well, I know.
Well, the unemployment is so bad.
But I
She's
think
doing
what
about
happens, you focus on jobs, then you keep those people in their homes, and you focus on jobs, and presumably you keep them with a good health care policy. But we just did everything backwards.
You're right. You're exactly right. We should be focused on the economy and on jobs, not these bailouts that don't work. I mean, why is the government picking the winners and losers in the private sector? They shouldn't be. And it's just,
well, don't go as
This is
field
kind of
from. We
unfair.
do
Here's
target
what I would like
industries.
to
we
see.
This is
say.
a little unfair. I'm going to address both of you. Now Dee's wrong. Okay, we feeling better? Look,
All right, guys, if we could pre-alert this
this
now,
was happening.
Rick is going back to
That
not
lasted 2
agree
minutes. That lasted
with
2
Dee.
minutes.
All right, that was a short-lived agreement.
Unger back to normal.
There we go. It's just in a short-lived agreement. Peace was brief.
This was a time when, we got to go back a few years. There wasn't time for jobs to kick in yet. So that's not a fair criticism. To Scottie's point, look.
No. Well, that's
see, I was
silly
bringing me
argument.
into this
That's a
now.
silly
Now you're
argument.
gonna
Let's
bring it
continue
under.
with your other silly argument.
To Scottie's point, listen, the banks were the ones responsible to qualify these people. So if it's true, and it may be, she may be right, that they weren't properly qualified. Maybe they were giving money to the wrong people.
Right.
That's not the administration. It was the people.
I'm not here to
where you had
Scottie,
Barney
I'm not
Frank.
here to blame anyone. What I am here to say is that I remember
I
when
am.
I am. I'm
Of course
gonna
you
blame
are.
Barney
Of course,
Frank.
absolutely.
And they're gonna blame me.
As is your wont. I am just saying that I remember distinctly when the first of these fixes was coming up. A lot of friends who were in duress were telling me, according to this one program, Neil, I understand if I miss 6 payments, I'm eligible. And I remember saying, I forget which one it was. I said, yes, that's right. You missed 6 payments. You're eligible. So he said, I'm going to miss 6 payments.
Right.
But
Now,
here's the
I'm
deal.
not
Why do
saying
we have-
everyone did that, but it was built into the equation for abuse.
And what I love is that people realize that they could make 6 payments and still be eligible for this, instead of going, maybe can I make 6 payments before they authorize this loan? And you had people like Barney Frank up there putting pressure on these banks
didn't
to
miss 6
loan these
payments.
money. Well, no, but he was putting pressure on these banks to loan these high-risk loans out to a variety of low-income families. Why? Because maybe they had a disco ball or they had a magic 8 ball that they could foretell that people were going to be able to stimulus and bail
In the
them out.
trailers.
But exactly,
Oh,
but
that's
just,
nice.
I mean,
Okay.
how are we sitting here? I would love to see one person who has created a job by the Obama administration that is also getting their mortgage paid off. And I think at that point, you know someone who's really intelligent
We
and
could
knows how to
probably
work our
find that
system.
person for you.
And they're
we have
probably
about
on food
20
stamps,
minutes
too.
before you're
We
all
can
back.
find that
And we
person
have
for
a
you,
brain
Scottie.
room. You know, we have something called a brain room here, where
Well,
they
that's what I'm
research
saying.
this stuff. And I thought that's put heavy pressure on the people in the brain room because you work in the
Well,
brain
it
room.
seems like you could do a good
But
job with $75
they'll
billion.
find out. They'll find it. Brain room is on it. We are on it. I
You're gonna
promise
find-
you will solve it. In the
And that
meantime,
person is
I beg you to
incredible.
stop. All right, when we come back.